If it wasn't for Alan, I wouldn't be here. And you wouldn't be here. You just don't know it. Everything's so connected. My buddy Danny Darst back here, he always says, you know, we're only here by just a hair. Just one little thing changes and none of us would be here the way we are. And years ago, when I got out of the service, I was living in Dallas, dreaming about moving to Nashville to be a singer. My father wanted to be a country music singer, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. I didn't know there were any other jobs. I thought you had to, if you were writing songs, that you had to be a singer. And through a series of events, I got invited to this songwriter thing. Some guys from Nashville came and were performing some songs like that song. Of course, I've never heard that song before, but it was like that song because in that moment I sat in the audience and I thought, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. And I packed up myself and my two daughters. One of them sang a little bit earlier. She was about 8 years old and the other one was 6. And I moved to Nashville so that one day, maybe, just maybe, I could sit next to a guy like this and a guy like that. And here we are. Look what God does.
All right.
Such an amazing song, and it's the power of stories, the power of words. And I'm blessed to have made my living with words for a long time like these guys. And every once in a while, I think God gives us something really, really special. And that's a special one. And when yours is a special one in a different way. But this is one that I got a chance to write with a friend of mine named Johnny Barnett a long time ago. He told me a story. He was on his way to play a show in Maryville, Tennessee, and he had a flat on his car, and he didn't have a jack, and he said he was stuck on the side of the road, and nobody would help him, and it kept getting later and later and darker, and finally a young man in a beat-up pickup truck stopped and helped him, and Johnny said, I just need to borrow your jack so I can change the tire. And the guy said, well, you're all dressed up. You stay in the car and I'll change the tire for you. So he did. And when he was done, Johnny said, what do I owe you? And the boy looked at him and he said, you don't owe me anything. And Johnny said, well, surely there's got to be something I can do to pay you back. And the young man looked at him and said, if you really want to pay me back, next time someone needs some help, you help them and think of me. And from that story Johnny told about his life, we wrote this story. He was driving home one evening in his beat-up Pontiac when an old lady flagged him down. Her Mercedes had a flat. He could see that he was frightened, standing out there in the snow, till he said, I'm here to help you, ma'am. By the way, my name's Joe. Well, she said, I'm from St. Louis, and I'm only passing through. I must have seen 100 cars go by. This is awful nice of you. And when he changed the tire and closed the trunk and was about to drive away, she said, how much do I owe you? And here's what he had to say. You don't owe me a thing. I've been there too. Someone once helped me out just the way I'm helping you. If you really want to pay me back, here's what you do. Don't let the chain of love end with you. Well, a few miles down the road, the lady saw a small cafe. She went in to grab a bite to eat and then be on her way. But she couldn't help but notice how the waitress smiled so sweet, and how she must have been 8 months along and dead on her feet. And though she didn't know her story, and she probably never will, When the waitress went to get her change from $100 bill, the lady slipped right out the door, and on a napkin left a note. There were tears in the waitress' eyes when she read what she wrote. You don't owe me a thing, I've been there too. Someone once helped me out just the way I'm helping you. If you really want to pay me back, here's what you do. Don't let the chain of love end with you. Well, that night when she got home from work, the waitress climbed into bed, and she was thinking about the money and what the lady's note had said. And as her husband lay there sleeping, she whispered soft and low, everything's gonna be alright, I love you, Joe. Thank you so much. Thank you.